Welcome back to Rambler Sports Locker. I'm RSL Executive Producer Amelia Ickes. I'm excited to report that RSL has returned to our studio in the Loyola School of Communication after more than a year and a half. Joining me in the studio today is RSL reporter Gabe Paredes to tell you about this week's award winners in Rambler Sports.
Two Rambler athletes have won awards for their performances over the weekend. Junior Taylor Venuto is the Missouri Valley Women's Volleyball Defensive Player of the Week after being one of the best in the court at the Chicago Classic in Evanston. The middle hitter's 12 blocks led the board in the three-set sweep against UIC and tied for the fourth highest total in program history. Even while suffering defeats in the two other games of the tournament, Venuto had the joint most kills against DePaul, scoring 11 and made 9 kills against Northwestern, getting her into the all-tournament team. Rambler's women's volleyball will be back in action tonight away at Missouri State at 6 p.m. Central. Cross-country runner Kathleen Sims also dominates the MVC this week. She's been named the Female Cross-Country Athlete of the Week. The senior led the Ramblers at the Redbird Invitational, making a 20-second drop in the 6K to get a personal best time of 20 minutes and 51 seconds. This placed her fourth on the final leaderboard as Loyola beat all other MVC teams to finish third. The Loyola women's cross-country team will be racing next at Sims' hometown of Louisville, Kentucky in the Live in Lou Cross Country Classic on October 2nd. For the Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Gabe Paredes. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Gabe. Last week, the Missouri Valley Conference released the conference schedules for men's and women's basketball. The Loyola men's basketball team will open MVC play at home against Indiana State December 1st. Meanwhile, the women's basketball team will face its first MVC competitor on the road December 31st when they meet Missouri State. Also releasing this week was the winners of the 73rd Emmy Awards, September 19th. Here to tell you about one sports-oriented show making a splash this award season is RSL reporter Abby Slayo in the first edition of RSL Reels.
What started out as a viral YouTube short has become a TV show that has taken the world by storm. Ted Lasso took home 7 Emmy Awards this past week, including Outstanding Comedy Series. With 20 nominations this year, the show broke the record for the most Emmy nominations ever received by a comedy in its first season. This begs the question, how has a show about soccer become so loved by mainstream audiences? Jason Sudeikis stars as Ted Lasso, who moves from Kansas to England to become the head coach of Premier League team AFC Richmond. There's just one problem. He knows nothing about soccer. With his positivity and pop culture references in tow, Ted tries to bring his team together while getting used to his new life across the pond. Sudeikis created the character in 2013 for a series of promos for NBC Sports. The original skit has over 16 million views on YouTube. This viral success led to the idea of turning Ted Lasso into a series on Apple TV+. Since the show's premiere in 2020, critics and fans have praised the show for its heartwarming story, lovable characters, and hilarious writing. Despite knowing none of this going into the show, I instantly fell in love with it. One thing that I really appreciate is that the show is not all about Ted. So much screen time is given to the supporting characters like team owner Rebecca Welton, assistant coach Beard, and veteran player Roy Kent. These and the many others in the ensemble cast make it very easy to root for AFC Richmond. But Ted Lasso doesn't feel like a typical sports show. It focuses a ton on the struggles the characters face both on and off the field. The show touches on some serious topics, including family, relationships, mental health, and self-image. Getting to learn so much about these characters helps us stay connected to their world while taking away some important life lessons ourselves. Over the course of the pandemic, I'm sure many of us have turned to TV shows as an escape from the stresses of our new normal. If you're looking for a show that will bring you plenty of comfort and laughter, believe me when I tell you that Ted Lasso is for you. For Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Abby Saleo, back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Abby. To keep up to date with all things Rambler Sports, be sure to follow Loyola RSL on Twitter and Instagram. For everyone at Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Amelia Ickes, and don't forget to turn out the lights.